welcome to Global Insight. In a major policy shift, the United States has begun rolling back U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, the agency responsible for administering foreign aids.
I don't know. I don't think so. Not when it comes to fraud. If there's fraud, these people are lunatics. Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval, and we'll give him the approval where appropriate. Where not appropriate, we won't.
The decision has been made with widespread approval from many Americans who see it as a long overdue measure to stop taxpayer dollars from funding foreign nations perceived to offer little in return. Tech billionaire Elon Musk has denounced USAID as a criminal organization, declaring it's time for it to die.
And USAID is a bowl of worms. Mm-hmm. There is no apple. And when there is no apple, you've just got to basically get rid of the whole thing. I went over it with him in detail, and he agreed with that we should shut it down.
While US President Donald Trump has labeled its officials as radical lunatics.
USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out.
Some lawmakers say that change isn't legal. American geopolitical rivals eager to see a diminished US presence on the world stage have welcomed the decision. However, the most vocal supporters remain everyday Americans who believe their nation has been hemorrhaging money on ungrateful beneficiaries for far too long. The argument is compelling and easily digestible political narrative. However, a deeper examination suggests the case against foreign aids is flawed. Contrary to popular belief, foreign aid is not mere charity. It is a strategic tool, an economic investment, and a crucial component of US diplomacy. Many Americans, historically, foreign aid has been integral to US diplomacy. The Marshall Plan, which injected over $13 billion US, for the record, 173 billion in today's value, into post-World War II Europe has not simply an act of generosity, but a strategic maneuver to curb Soviet expansion. Stabilizing European economies ensured strong alliance and created lucrative market for American goods. The same principle applied today. Countries receiving US aids are more likely to align with America's policies, grant military access, and negotiate favorable trade agreements in Africa. USAID program often come with implicit conditions, support USA position at the United Nations, engage in military partnership, or open markets to American corporations. Cutting these programs weakens US leverage, allowing competitors like China to expand their influence through initiatives such as Belt and Road Initiative, which uses economic assistance as a tool for political control. Beyond diplomacy, foreign aid is a crucial driver of American commerce. A significant portion of USAID's budget never actually leave the US. Instead, is to sustain America's industries that supply food, medicine, and infrastructure to developing nations. Programs like Food for Peace purchase surplus agricultural products from US farmers at fixed prices before distributing them abroad, ensuring stability for domestic farmers while simultaneously introducing American produce into foreign market. However, the unintended consequence is that local farmers in recipient countries struggle to compete, increasing dependency on US import. The pharmaceutical industry also reap benefits. US health aid funds American drug manufacturers, providing them with guaranteed government contract and a steady revenue stream. Cutting foreign aid doesn't just impact vulnerable populations abroad, it interrupts American companies and workers reliant on these contracts. Foreign aid also supports American jobs. USAID funds a vast network of NGOs, private contractors, and government employees responsible for designing, implementing, and monitoring aid programs. These well-paying jobs span engineering, policy analysis, healthcare, and logistics. One example is the US President Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, which has invested over $100 billion to combat HIV/AIDS globally, while employing thousands of American workers in public health and supply chain management. Private contractors further benefit from USAID funding. Companies like Chemonix, DAI, and John Snow Inc. generate billions through government contracts, employing thousands of Americans and manage development projects worldwide. Cutting USAID funding does not just impact foreign nations, it risks American jobs and destabilizes industries built around international development. History warns against the consequence of U.S. isolationism. After World War I, America's withdrawal from European affairs contributed to economic instability, which fueled the risks of fascist regimes and ultimately led to World War II. By contrast, post-World War II investment in foreign aid helped establish strong allies and expanded U.S. economic influence. Institutions such as NATO and the European Union exist in large part because the U.S. recognized that economic and military engagement abroad has established to its own security and prosperity. Recognizing this, President John F. Kennedy consolidated various foreign aid initiatives under USAID in 1961 through Executive Order 10973. In his special message to Congress, he emphasized the strategic necessity of foreign aid. He said, and I quote, "There is no escaping our obligations, our moral obligations as a wise leader and good neighbors in the interdependent community of free nations, our economic obligations as the wealthiest people in a world of largely poor people, and our political obligation as the single largest counter to the adversary of freedom. To fail to meet those obligations now would be disastrous and in the long run more expensive." End of quote. The geopolitical landscape has shifted, but the fundamental principle remains unchanged.
The only thing he thinks about is the money they put in there, but not the benefits that accrues and the goodwill that accrues to America through that little thing. The world is in trouble.
Reducing U.S. aid does not strengthen America, it strengthens its competitors. China and Russia are poised to exploit any retreat, expanding their influence, with American industries suffer from lost contracts and workers faced unemployment. Many Americans supporting these cuts may not have the full picture. The economic, diplomatic, and strategic benefit of foreign aid remain largely invisible to the average citizens. But the reality is clear. Foreign aid is not a handout. It is a calculated investment in America's global leadership. While this discussion has focused on the U.S. perspective, it is also important to consider the broader implication beyond American borders. A retreat from foreign aid does not leave a void. It simply opens the door for competitors with far fewer scruples and far more extractive intentions. What do you think the retreat in foreign aid mean for your country? Share it on our comment section. With that, we come to the end of today's program on Global Insight. You're watching Diaspora Digital Media. To watch more of this, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video and hit the notification bell to get alerted when we drop a new video. I am Ibrahim Umarwasi. Until next time.